Luuk's kit is a bit of a weird one because he does not have a best in slot sub DPS at the moment that can bring out his maximum damage potential, but his current sub DPS placeholders including Sanhua and Lene are amazing options for clearing even the most difficult content very easily. The major issue with his kit design that I encountered while testing is his long field time for doing damage, which can make you lose ultra buffs very easily before he uses his liberation if your rotations are not fast enough. But finding ways to fix such problems is what we do best on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to break down Luuk's kit to make it very easy to understand how he works, best build, and how much of a damage decrease you should expect in all his alternative team compositions to help you decide if he is worth pulling on your account. Keep in mind that every footage used in this video was captured on the creator server, so some things may be subject to change upon official release. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Pain relief initiated. Vessels delayed imbalance and here. Game over. Modality switch. Entombed in daybreak, I deliver merciful death.
Luuk's playstyle. He has this yellow 40 bar right here that you can fill up with ground basic attacks, mid-air basic attacks, his normal skill, and finally an intro skill.
Immediate procedure.
The intro skill method gives him full yellow 40 stacks, so that'll be your most reliable method to speed up his rotations. But it can only recover full yellow 40 stacks after every 24 seconds, so keep that in mind. You'll rarely use the ground basic attacks because they don't provide that much value in terms of damage output, so let's skip to his mid-air attacks. You can always jump to go in mid-air and use the mid-air attacks, but you depend mostly on the intro to send him into mid-air during your rotations. There are two types of mid-air attacks he can use, including dissection and resection, and both of them start after mid-air basic attack stage 1. Dissection is the simplest one, and all you have to do is spam basic attacks in mid-air after stage 1 to use dissection stage 2 and 3. But if you want to use resection, you could use basic attack stage 1 and then spam your jump button to use resection stage 2 and 3. I highly recommend that you stick with resection because the combined damage multiplier is much higher than dissection, as you can see right here. Resection also has a wider hitbox, which is very useful in multi-wave content. Every time you perform an intro skill with Luuk, it will apply a tune strain shifting on an enemy, and you can spam the jump button to immediately use resection stage 2 and 3, or you can spam basic attacks to use dissection stage 2 and 3. So regardless of the type of mid-air basic attacks you use after an intro skill, it'll always skip basic attack stage 1. Keep in mind that I'm going to be using resection for the rest of this video. After gaining full yellow stacks with an intro skill, any mid-air attack stage 3 will give you access to an enhanced skill called Ring, and using it will apply tune strain shifting and consume one of the 3 yellow 40 gauges to increase the damage multiplier. Right after using Ring, the next basic attack will let him teleport to hit the enemy as a way of closing the gap between Luuk and the enemy, and then reset his mid-air attacks. From here, you can press basic attack once and spam jump to use resection, which will make the enhanced skill Breach become available. Using Breach will apply tune strain shifting and make him spin in the air to deal 3 instances of damage. But the issue with Breach is that the animation takes way too long to complete, so I'll provide a fix for that without any damage loss in the rotation section of this video to shorten his field time so that you don't lose ultra buffs prematurely. After using Breach, the next basic attack will let him teleport to hit the enemy like before and reset his mid-air attacks, so you can press basic attack once and spam your jump button to use resection stage 3. This will make the enhanced skill Glare become available, which also applies tune strain shifting. And right after using Glare, press basic attack to use a special plunge attack that'll detonate the yellow rocks on the ground, and use his liberation, which will be buffed by a 75% increase multiplier because every enhanced skill increases the damage multiplier by 25%. For quality of life changes, Luuk can be very squishy in midair, so he has a passive that allows him to gain full anti-interruption and reduce an incoming damage for 1 second. So that means this passive can only protect you from mostly 1 instance of damage, but you're free to always dodge in midair at the cost of stamina. And that's pretty much it for his playstyle. Inherent skills. The first one gives him 30% damage amplification if he has 60 Tune Break boost when doing damage to an enemy inflicted with Tune Strain interfered, but Lene can provide only 40 Tune Break boost and Luuk has a base Tune Break boost of 10, so you can only get 25% damage amplification. The second one will grant Luuk 25% attack buff with a 100% uptime while he's doing damage on the field. The second passive is mostly for multi-wave content. Whenever a Tune Strain interfered target is defeated, the highest number of Tune Strain interfered stacks on an enemy will be recorded up to a maximum of 2 stacks, and when the next wave appears, Tune Breaking them will cause Tune Strain interfered. But this time, the number of Tune Strain interfered that was recorded from the enemies that died previously will add up to the Tune Strain interfered stacks on the new enemy. Just think of this as a way to transfer Tune Strain interfered stacks to new wave of enemies. Luuk will gain up to 6% universal damage bonus for every stack of Tune Strain interfered on an enemy. With Lene and Monier, you can gain up to 4 stacks of Tune Strain interfered, which will give Luuk up to 24% damage bonus. You can stack Tune Strain interfered easily in multi-wave content because of this passive, but in single target endgame mode, it takes multiple rotations to stack more on enemies per my testing. Team building. I tested 6 different team variations to figure out the best one to use depending on the type of account that you might have. Keep in mind that Luuk's damage was recorded when the enemy had 1 stack of Tune Strain interfered applied on them. First place goes to S1 R0 Monier, Lene, and Luuk. Monier's 50% off tune build-up rate allows you to tune break the enemy more often, which also increases the amount of Tune Strain interfered stacks you can apply on an enemy. This will be the standard team that every other team that I'll be covering will be compared to. Second place goes to S4 Verena, Lene, and Luuk. Verena provides 15% spectral damage bonus to Luuk and Lene from her S4, which helps boost the team's overall damage output. You will encounter a damage loss of about 14%, but Verena's extremely low field time should give you similar clear time as the standard team composition. Third place goes to Showkeeper, Lene, and Luuk. Luuk encountered a damage loss of about 9.7% compared to the standard team composition, but the clear time was 3 seconds longer than the previous 2 teams that I covered earlier because I was limited to R1 variation on Showkeeper, so with higher refinements of variation, the clear time should be very close to the first and second team composition that I covered earlier. Fourth place goes to S1 Monier, Sanhua, and Luuk. Luuk encountered a damage loss of about 9.3% with a longer clear time of 75 seconds because Sanhua's energy regeneration for the entire team is not as good as Lene, so you always have to intro with Luuk from Monier and then go back to Sanhua to cast Liberation, Skill, Forte Circuit, and Basic Attack a couple of times to fully regenerate Concerto energy. Keep in mind that this team would have had a better clear time if my Luuk build had a decent energy regen, which would get rid of the double intro skills to make the rotation a little bit faster. Fifth place goes to Showkeeper, Sanhua, and Luuk. This team suffers from the same double intro issues as the one that I covered previously for the Monier-Sanhua team composition. You will encounter a damage loss of about 19% compared to the standard team composition. Sixth place goes to S4 Verena, Sanhua, and Luuk. Verena was surprisingly providing more buffing capabilities to Luuk in this team composition compared to the Showkeeper Sanhua team by a difference of about 5%, but the damage output was severely limited to Luuk, unlike the Showkeeper Sanhua team where Showkeeper's special intro skill was doing pretty decent damage, resulting in a much longer clear time. But at least it's free to get you started until you can get your hands on Lene, because per my experience after hours of testing, Luuk is more dependent on Lene compared to Monier because of his damage amplification inherent skill, and you can easily see that the Lene teams did better in the sheet that I provided. Now let's cover his build. Weapon priorities will be based on this sheet right here, which is a record of my runs in the middle tower based on how much basic attack damage he can do from the glare enhanced skill with different weapons. He has synergy with 3 other gauntlets besides his signature weapon, and any other gauntlet will be a static. If you cannot get his signature weapon, first priority will be Zani's signature weapon because the 8% defense ignore is very easy to maintain while he's on the field doing damage. You should encounter a damage loss of about 14% compared to his signature weapon. The second priority will be the pulsation bracer. At R5, damage loss should be about 8.5% compared to his signature, but at R1, damage loss should be around 16% compared to his signature weapon. Only use this weapon if you have Monnier, because the buff only works if the enemy is inflicted with Tune Strain interfered, and Monnier's 50% off tune build-up rate ensures that you can consistently tune break the enemy to cause Tune Strain interfered every rotation. The worst option will be Abyss Surges. You should try to stay away from this weapon because the buff is impossible to maintain without losing Luke's Ultra buff. You need to use his normal skill during his rotations to trigger the basic attack damage bonus because you need to do resonance skill damage to gain the buff, but it further extends his field time to more than 14 seconds, so you can easily lose Lene and Sanwo's Ultra buff pretty easily before he nukes the enemy with his liberation. For his echoes, Rite of Gilded Revelation will be his best in slot. Run crit damage focus Hivatia if you're using his signature weapon, or Pulsation Bracer and crit rate focused if you're using Zani's signature weapon or Abyss Surges. 3 costs should be double spectral damage bonuses, and the 1 cost will be attack percentage. Keep in mind that his main echo will be the Twin Nova Nebulous Cannon. Substats priority will be crit rate, crit damage, and basic attack damage bonus. For energy region, prioritize at least 120%. Talent priority will be skill, Forte Circuit, Liberation, and normal attacks. Rotations. I'll be covering the rotation for the best team so far, featuring Monnier and Lene. Here's the build that I'll be running on all teammates. You first start by generating full orange stacks with Monnier, but even after getting full stacks, I waited to parry Sentry Construct because he can be very annoying to fight in midair. Now we can heavy attack with Monnier, skill, and basic attack 3 times to fully fill her blue Forte stacks, heavy attack, and cast her Liberation, echo skill, and intro with Lene. Cast her echo skill to prep the Hivatia buff for Luuk, and her skill to fully regenerate her Forte stacks. Then cast her Liberation. Hold your basic attack button until she attacks the enemy automatically. Jump 3 times and plunge. You can now end her field time by using her skill to dropkick the enemy. The Tune Break skill should be available now, so use it to cause Tune Strain interfered. And intro with Luuk. Spam your jump button to do mid-air attacks until the Ring Enhanced skill becomes available for you to use. Basic attack 2 times and spam jump until the Breach Enhanced skill becomes available for you to use. This part is very important, so pay close attention. Breach always throws him far away from the enemy, which wastes a lot of precious time. So as soon as he makes contact with the enemy and you see a spectral damage number on your screen, dash to cancel the animation and he'll still hit the enemy with the 3 instances of damage from Breach. Now, basic attack 2 times again and spam jump until the Glare Enhanced skill becomes available for you to use. After using Glare, basic attack to plunge with his Forte Circuit and immediately use his Liberation before he loses the Ultra buff. Press skill twice to regenerate energy, but this isn't really needed if he has at least 120% energy regen. It's still much safer to do it anyway. Sequences. For S1, mid-air attacks gains 150% damage bonus and he can now tank 1 more damage while he's in mid-air. This will be his best early sequence that I recommend as a quality of life change for smooth gameplay. For S2, the total damage multiplier for his liberation after casting the 3 enhanced skills is now increased by 135% instead of 75%. This passive right here is now enhanced, and he can now gain up to 60% damage amplification instead of 30% when he has 60 Toon Break boost. S2 will be the best early sequence if you're more interested in increasing his damage output without spending too much money. For S3, all the enhanced skills damage multipliers will increase by an additional 136%. After casting the Glare enhanced skill, the plunge attack and the Yellow Rock's explosion damage now gains an increased multiplier of 135%. This passive is also now enhanced, and he can now absorb a maximum of 4 Toon Strain interfered stacks instead of 2 when an enemy dies, which he can transfer to the next wave of enemies after any teammates cast a Toon Break skill. For S4, all teammates gain 20% more damage after casting the Toon Break skill. This buff is very similar to Monier's 40% more damage buff, so it's much more powerful because it's a separate damage multiplier in the damage equation. For S5, intro skill gains an 80% increased damage multiplier, which is nothing special, but the most important one is the outro damage, which also gets an increased multiplier of 80%. The outro skill already has a 500% damage multiplier, so it'll now do even more damage. The normal skill gains a 50% increased damage multiplier with a reduced cooldown of 2 seconds, and he gains 3 charges instead of 2. This is useless in endgame content because using his normal skills during his rotations extends his field time even more, resulting in the loss of outro buffs before he can use his liberation to nuke the enemy. This buff should have been given to the Golden Impale, which is the next basic attack that allows him to close the gap between him and the enemy after using an enhanced skill. For S6, all the enhanced skills deal 30% more damage after casting Toon Break with any teammate. His liberation after using all the 3 enhanced skills now gains 255% increased damage multiplier instead of 135% from S2. S6 also reduces his dependency on Monier to apply more Toon Strain into field stacks because after Toon Breaking the enemy at least once, he can now apply Toon Strain into field stacks directly while doing damage. That'll be all for my Luuk character breakdown. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel because it's free and you can always change your mind. Our Discord link will be in the pinned comment if you're having any issues with Wuthering Waves or you just want a place to chill or hang out. If you also have any questions, be sure to drop them down in the comment section and I'll reply to them as fast as I can. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.